A woman who claims she can speak to the dead, even famous people like Robin Williams. A woman who also claims that she is reincarnated from people like Marilyn Monroe, Cleopatra, Jesus, just to name a few of them. A woman who claims she can heal and perform surgery virtually through a computer with just her hands. She was married 3 times by her early 20s, had 3 children, each from different marriages, leaving her 3rd marriage and job as manager at McDonald's to pursue a spiritual path. Now, abandoning her role as manager at McDonald's was not the only role she abandoned, because she abandoned the role as mother to 3 children in order to be the mother god of a group of 20 or so adults. This was Amy Carlson, the former leader of the cult Love Has Won. Amy Carlson is the former leader as she passed away and was mummified by her followers a few years back. However, the name Love Has Won is a bit ironic considering the years of abuse and torment the members and online community went through. On this week's episode of Cauldron Convos, we're going to be diving into the cult Love Has Won. Thank you, Chris, one of our subscribers, for recommending we do this. I knew very little about Love Has Won until I researched it for this podcast, and let me tell you, this is probably one of the most interesting topics we've done. If you are new here, I just wanted to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to this channel because we post weekly, multiple times a week. We post here on the spine-chilling, conspiracy, paranormal, true crime topics that you definitely want to hear. We try to post on all of the interesting stuff, but make it a little spooky, make it a little funny, looking at it in a skeptical way and not just being like, yes, this is right, this is the truth, we've hit turbulence. Remember that song? Good times, baby. Let's just dive into the video. So how did this all begin? How did a cult cultivate? Okay. Well, it all started from the woman in the introduction, Amy Carlson. Now, Amy Carlson had a seemingly normal life as a kid. She was born in Dallas, Texas. Her family claimed that she was a straight-A student. As noted in the introduction, she was married 3 times by her early 20s. And she was not only just married 3 times in her early 20s, she also had a child with each of her husbands. But then during the mid-2000s, Amy Carlson started getting into some new age philosophy stuff. And we're not talking philosophical ethics 101 in college. We're talking aliens, spaceships, crazy things. She even became a regular poster on the forum. I love how I'm like crazy things. Meanwhile, our whole channel is dedicated to these types of things.
I'm like wearing a headdress.
This crazy woman. Yeah.
This crazy woman.
She became a regular poster on the forum lightworkers.org. So she was in it. She was in it to win it. And actually on this website, on this forum is where she found a man that called himself Amrith White Eagle. And White Eagle, W is capital and so is E. And that's one word. So Amrith convinced Amy that she was divine. And it wasn't like a normal romance thing where you're like, oh, you're so divine, baby. Like, no, he thought she was literally ruler of the universe. But as a result, since she was so divine, she had to leave her job as manager of a McDonald's. The McFlurry machine was broken for far too long. She had to figure out why it was broken for so long.
I just saw a video of a guy who ordered a McFlurry and they didn't mix it and they said the mixer was broken, but I guess he used to work at McDonald's and he hopped the counter and just mixed it himself.
So after she left her job as manager of the McDonald's, she claimed to experience the paranormal, and she literally abandoned her family. 3 children, 2 ex-husbands, I guess now it's 3 ex-husbands. 3 ex-husbands, 3 children, sister, mom, everyone, bye. McDonald's, McFlurries, gone. See you never. Never have to mix one ever again. She ceased contact with her family members in order to move to Colorado with Amrith White Eagle, the double capital letter name man. And here with Amrith in Colorado, they began a group called the Galactic Federation of Light.
Yo, it sounds like the Galactic Confederation of Independent Systems from Star Wars.
It happens. Maybe that's where they got their inspiration. They took a mushroom trip to watch some Star Wars and they're like, what if we did this exact same thing?
The CIS.
But scammed people out of millions of dollars.
Yo, they were watching Newt Gunray and like the Trade Federation blockade Naboo, and all of a sudden they're like, yes, we have to start a cult.
The group, the Galactic Federation of Light, started posting on YouTube back in 2009. It's believed that Amrith is the one speaking in their first released YouTube video, and it doesn't seem like Amy is speaking in this one, but Amy Carlson was featured on this channel in 2010 where she's recording clouds and referring to them as spaceships. I don't know if this was another trip or what was going on, but something was going on. However, even though she was featured in this video, she wasn't actually physically featured. It was her voice and she was the one recording. But in 2012, the same year that they changed their name to Galactic Free Press, shortening it a bit, they released a video called Mother and Father God Declare Peace on Earth. And this is the first time Amy Carlson was featured on this YouTube channel.
Is this the first time they referred to White Eagle as Father God?
I don't know.
I think
maybe
the Father God word, I guess the noun, the name comes back. It's interchangeable.
Oh my God, I wish I had that Instagram username. Mother and Father, Mother God, Father God.
Yeah.
We could have scammed them out of money. I bet you they would have paid for it with like donations from followers.
That's wrong.
I know. Well, anyway.
Hey, $1's $1.
But even though Mother and Father God declared peace on Earth, in 2014, they broke up. Oh no, the iconic Amaranth and Amy. What will you do without a Father God? Don't worry, there'll be a lot more coming. In 2014 is actually, coincidentally, the first year that Amy had a follower. Her first follower named Miguel or Michael. And this is when you start to see Amy Carlson refer to her followers as the First Contact Ground Crew Team, which is reminding me of Hail Bop.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. What did they call them?
T and Doe.
No. What do Doe and T call their followers?
Departure team. Away team.
Away team. Like what's up with these teams? Like go start a softball tournament.
No,
like enough
this
with
is
these.
this is abundantly obvious that this whole thing is not an original idea.
Yeah.
This is so like a millennial cult where they just like rip all the ideas.
Heaven's Gate idea.
Well, no, it's not. It's just Heaven's Gate, you know.
Esque.
Yeah.
With like the space. Sorry, my arm. Look at my arm. Amy claimed that she was mistreated by Amaranth and this is why they broke up. And in 2015, she found her next father god named Andrew. And Andrew's not that bad looking, to be honest. Not that, like...
I mean in the cult space,
yeah,
like he's like a fucking 10.
Yeah. On May 12th of 2016, they started referring to themselves as Love Has Won.
This is like so recent. I can't get over that.
I know.
I'm so used to talking about stuff that's like so old.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy that like, how did they get away with this? Yeah, okay, they only had 20 or something followers at their peak, like physical followers living in their house, but they had like thousands online.
They would just e-beg.
Which is the scary part. Like at least a cult back in the 80s, like they couldn't really, you know.
Yeah, like a good STD spreading it.
So now we're going to talk briefly about what their beliefs are. It's kind of hard to follow, kind of hard to understand. So I'm only going to be saying a few things that I've taken from quotes from her followers as well as Amy Carlson herself. But her followers believe she is God and Amy is here to save humanity from what they refer to as the cabal. And they talk about this cabal over and over and over again.
The cabal's also in the Blacklist TV show.
Also, she fights the cabal through her mobile phone games. So she's playing Candy Crush and the cabal, she's like, I'm crushing the cabal, baby. And one of her followers in a live stream said, quote, Mom is here to help us shift to the next dimension. By the way, they refer to Amy as Mom, Mama, I think, Mother God, whatever. Sometimes Mommy Milker. No, just kidding.
Oh, baby. Milky.
Then they also note that 144,000 of us will make it to the next dimension.
Very specific number.
Yeah,
but it's always like,
144.
I feel like when you're growing up, though, everyone always asks, like, what's 12 times 12? 144, baby.
Really?
I've been asked that in an
inordinate
amount of times.
I feel like people are like 6 times 6, 36. So why not 36,000? They're not that selective.
Well, I would say 144,000 is like enough to repopulate the earth with like enough diverse.
Amy claims that she created herself from the energy of love. She's all love, baby. And she claims to have been reincarnated 534 times specifically. The followers worship Amy as a god, and in a video, one of her followers said she was, quote, literally the planet, and feels the collective emotions of all people. So one thing that they try to use as a defense mechanism of why Amy's so angry in some of her live streams, we'll watch in a bit, is because she feels the collective emotion of humanity. So because there's so much anger in humanity, it's no surprise that Amy lashes out at nighttime after drinking a highball of vodka. It's just natural. She's just taking the human collective and feeling it all.
Can you imagine?
No.
Bro, I can barely handle my own shit.
No, I think it's just funny that they use that as an excuse. Like, people are always like, so why is she so angry and nasty in her videos? And they're like, well, Mom feels the collective. It's like, no, bitch, she's a drunk. Like, You know?
Yeah, lots of excuses in these cult situations.
Yeah. All right. But now we are going to go back to the father god scenario because we kind of deviated from that. As we were talking about before, Andrew, the, better looking one to Amarith, Andrew stayed with the group until the end of 2015. But Andrew left the group, and Andrew actually released a YouTube video about his experience, kind of bashing it and bashing Amy in a way.
Everybody there was on a mushroom trip. And apparently none of them had gone to bed yet.
A group mushroom trip, I don't know who created the story because
Amy, at that point in time, was definitely one of the most brilliant, insightful people I've ever met. But it all changed after dinner.
It all changed after dinner.
She could drink like I've never seen before. She would fill a highball glass, almost the whole way with vodka and just, spritz water on top.
Fuck.
She'd probably drink 8 to 9 of those a night. She would turn into somebody else.
You just fucking got me on that fucking motherfucker. Fucking wow.
She would become angry. She would talk smack and just be very bitter about things, yelling and cussing.
I love that's a cult leader.
I feel like he's not even hurting her that much by saying this. Like, this is all someone could gather from the videos that they post and live stream. They're putting these videos out.
She streams drunk.
And it's even more telling that one of her ex-father gods or whatever the heck left and is confirming all of this that occurred. Like, he was there for 10 months. He knows. And it's not even like he's even bashing her that much. He's kind of just sharing his experience, which I think is interesting. But we'll get more into the alcohol issues in a little bit. But in addition to Andrew, of course, there's more father gods. So after Andrew left the group in 2015, a December 2015 video was posted of Amy and some man named RJ on a nice beach, and in it they're having some sort of wedding ceremony, but RJ wasn't officially a father god. He never made it to that level. They apparently were just twin flames getting married. I don't know. I don't really get the difference between the twin flame thing and the father god, but apparently he wasn't enough to be father god status.
Oof.
But then she did get a father god come March 2016, and the father god's name was Jonah. And some videos that I've seen of Jonah, one of them is a video of him summoning the devil. They refer to themselves as king and queen of the planet. Iconic, honestly.
That is pretty iconic.
Yeah.
So she's the king and queen of herself because she is the planet.
RJ, although he never made it to father god status, he does have an important role as a live streamer. We see him in a video claiming that $30,000 was stolen from previous father gods, from previous members. I think actually an additional 40-something thousand was stolen as well. So more than $70,000 have been stolen from this group. And in it, you also see Amy Carlson literally feeding RJ the lines on how to beg the followers to donate to make up for the $70,000 that was stolen from them. Allegedly stolen. No proof of it. Jonah also gets kicked out of here by Father God. And Amy claims that the next Father God is some guy named John. And we see John for a little bit, but eventually John gets downgraded and she's like, never mind, like, this is not your calling. Like, you're just going to be, I forgot what she referred to him as, some stupid name. And now enters a new father god, Jason Castillo. And this was in 2018.
So recent. I can't believe that still. And I wonder how she determines who's got the biggest hog or something.
So he was basically this crazy, angry man. He had a past criminal history of drunk driving, breaking and entering, and child neglect.
Oh, this guy with the big beard. Yeah. Didn't he take the Hustler University course?
Oh, did he?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, shit.
He actually has the cult lesson in Andrew Tate's course.
He runs it. After she leaves this guy, John, you just see Jason Castillo, yelling and berating John. John becomes a target. Everyone was just like, you're a piece of shit. That's the one she's yelling at, that, he didn't get chicken parmesan.
Oh, this is my favorite video. We got to play that later.
So Jason Castillo is the next father god, but then he goes on a short stint to prison for a little bit. Then he comes back. It's a whole thing. Also, another note is this financial aspect of this cult, because they live stream 2 times a day, or they did live stream once or twice a day. And in the live streams, they're obviously trying to raise money for themselves, including Amy's mobile game fund, which they actually refer to as her joy fund. They say that like mom needs things such as her mobile games. It really helps her. It helps alleviate her pain.
She would be a premium player.
It helps her beat the cabal or whatever it's
She
called.
buys donuts.
Yeah. A lot of members were even on food stamps, and they would accept donated food claiming that they were malnourished, that the people in the compound or whatever that they called it were malnourished and they needed help. There's even a voicemail of someone from the group calling like a number that you need food. They were like, we have people here that are malnourished and hungry. Yeah, because you literally are only allowed to eat once a day. I'm surprised because they must have been making a whopping amount of money, because for $88.88, Amy would cure you of anything via virtual surgeries.
$88.
Like for a 30-minute cure or whatever it was. And according to the Dr. Phil episode, she's done hundreds of thousands of surgeries. So you must be making a lot of money,
No,
baby.
she has not.
I know. But it's just funny.
That she says that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Everything owned by Love Has Won, the 2 houses, multiple cars, are all registered under the first follower, Michael Miguel's name, who's also the president of Love Has Won, even though it's a 501c3, which is a charity. So you would think that would be under the whole organization's name, but
we should call Cars for Kids on them.
Michael has somehow maneuvered his way into being the owner on everything, all the assets. So when Amy dies, which she did, everything would go to Michael. I don't know. Maybe Michael's living his life right now. Maybe he's like on the coast of San Diego being like, fuck you,
on
bitches.
a beach somewhere, yeah. Michael has won.
Michael has won, literally. They had a bunch of GoFundMes, a series of GoFundMes during their time where they were, prominent, I guess. Prominent group on Facebook. But one of them was even a GoFundMe to raise $40,000 specifically for a tilt-a-whirl for their school, which must have had probably like 4 kids.
Honestly, that's a decent investment.
Like, you don't even have enough kids to fill those seats.
Okay, but at the pop-up carnival, the tilt-a-whirl is by far the best ride there.
I don't know. In addition to their financial malpractice, can I call it? I don't know.
Abuse.
Amy Carlson also abuses alcohol, like we saw, kind of, before. She becomes very angry in a lot of the live streams and a lot of the videos. Some of the videos are of her, and some of them are just the group live streaming, but you can hear her specifically in the background screaming about literally nonsense. And members are banned from using drugs and alcohol. You see those 2 girls, I forgot their names, are like Aurora and Hope, and they're constantly talking, I remember, they're constantly talking about, how mom doesn't let us use drugs and alcohol. And
a bit ironic.
We would be kicked off if we did use drugs and alcohol, but mom uses the organic version to take away her pain, which is in the form of alcohol. So they do admit that she drinks.
I've also seen a video of her ripping the devil's lettuce.
Me too. She's ripping a bong, baby.
Ripping a bong, baby.
And like we saw, the guy Andrew, her former father god, said, quote, she can drink any man under the table in a YouTube video from 2021 and would fill a highball glass of vodka multiple times in a night and just put some water on it.
8. He says 8.
8. So there's other, instances where we can clearly see that she is drunk or high or both, and she's angry and she's pissed and she's screaming. In addition to this, Love Has Won has also posted live stream videos and videos on Facebook where they're just racist in.
A common theme with these groups is rules for thee, but not for me. It's like David Koresh would have sex with all the wives and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that part of the reason why so many people are drawn to this spiritualist path of the new age philosophy, whatever people want to call it, is because it's out of love and no judgment. There might be Christians that are now against it because they feel judged, or they feel they don't want to have to abide by these crazy rules from the Bible. So they look towards peace, love, unity, everyone together, love everyone, whatever. And that's what they're supposed to be representing. Their name is literally Love Has Won. Yet, you see Aurora or Hope, I don't even remember which one, the blonde one, literally stating in a live stream, a lot of Jews have become bankers. They wanted everyone else to do the work and they would take the money. That's part of the idea behind the concentration camps, was just to teach them to work.
Oh my God.
That's just one of the things. You also see Jason saying the N-word multiple times on videos. There's other clear examples that they're,
sounds like hate
hatred.
has won.
Yeah, hate has literally won here.
It sounds like Kanye West's group, Love Has Won.
It doesn't even stop at the hate externally. It's also hate internally in the house, in the group. In 2018, it appears that the cult starts to take a weird turn of anger, where she's just getting drunker and drunker, and Jason Castillo, this like angry man that's like her father god. So in multiple live streams, you can literally see Father God Jason berating multiple members. He also told John that he was going to like be a paraplegic for some reason.
That's so mean.
Yeah, I don't
It's
really
so
understand.
oddly specific.
Yeah, there's a video of them that they literally live stream where they are locking a child in a closet repeatedly for timeout every 2 minutes. They take the child out.
What did the kid do?
I don't know, like not
kidding.
subdued a mother god or whatever it was. Like it's literally all on the internet. You can like see the hatred in her eyes too, where she is pissed at this kid.
She's clearly unwell.
And the kid couldn't. I don't even think the kid is at an age of reasoning where they could understand. It's just doing it over and over again. It's not learning because it's so young. Like it doesn't. I don't even know if it can understand English. English can only understand.
Me no speaky English. Me speaky Spanish.
So they're abusing children in this house. They're abusing each other. They're abusing the members. They each have to talk about things that they've done that were wrong. There's also a game that they used to play called like Who's the Whore or something, where the it was called Find the Whore, and it's all on video. And Find the Whore was basically meaning who's the woman that's talking too much about herself or is too confident or something, and they would each guess who the whore was that week. But like no one picked who the whore was. Oh, we collectively think that like you were the whore this week because you thought eating a snack before me was okay.
I thought Mother God would automatically just select whoever the whore is regardless of their votes.
Maybe Jason did. I don't know. And a former member said that, quote, she only let us sleep for hours, which you can see from brainwashing tactics and other cult tactics that people use is to deprive people of sleep so that they can't like function properly, make decisions properly, figure things out, like their brain activity just doesn't work as much. So there's multiple accusations of fraud, brainwashing, and abuse, not just from one former member, a bunch of former members. In one video, you can even see her abusing a cat and referring it to as a bitch multiple times. But again, it's not like a funny video. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess how is that funny in any way? But she's like grabbing it from the neck.
The scruff.
The scruff.
She's still throwing it around.
Yeah,
it's
and
no
it's
way
like,
to treat an animal.
You can see it in her eyes, like she's yelling at it, calling it a bitch. Like it's just weird. Like don't have a cat. Why do you even have a cat?
Why is the cat a bitch?
Yeah. What did the cat do to you? They also claim that they don't require as much food as normal people do because they're on such hive consciousness. Literally just an excuse to like not have to feed them again so they don't have as much energy. So they're being deprived of sleep.
That's smart.
Deprived of food. That's smart. You're like, I'm taking
well, no, that's a good idea. I mean, I didn't think of it.
I guess.
She's crafty.
Additionally, you're obviously not allowed to have any money for yourself. So there's this one video of a woman who's like apologizing via live stream because she was selfish and she took money to buy yarn so she could knit. But the only person that is allowed to enjoy the money is Amy, again, with her little joy fund she has there, buying Candy Crush and Flo's Diner extra points and such, extra lives. Of course, the cult members are encouraged to cut ties with their friends and family per, most cult situations. And they even have a guide on how to do so that they reference in a live stream so that they even crafted this guide. So it's like, if you don't know how to cut ties with your family, if it's very difficult for you, don't worry, we have a guide. We have a process here. This is very sad, but in 2020, which again, very recent, this man named Alex Witten abandoned his wife, his children, and his high-paying job, so he's making six-figure salary, to join Love Has Won. His wife actually went on Dr. Phil and noted that during a live stream, they said he was left on another side of the mountain because his energy just wasn't compatible with the group.
Oh my
so he
God.
left his whole family, his job, everything, to join this group, Love Has Won, and Love Has Won just ditched him on the side of the mountain and was like, peace, your energy is not vibing with us.
So he's definitely dead.
Well, he was found naked, wandering the desert under the influence,
Of
cactus
what?
needles stuck in his feet.
Oh.
I don't know, probably some hallucinogen or something crazy. He was actually brought to a hospital by someone, and the hospital let him go, despite the fact that his family members told the hospital that he was in a dangerous state, like physically, he was on something, he was a danger to society and himself, clearly had like some type of mental break, and they told the hospital to hold him, but what does the hospital do? They let him go until a random stranger, by the goodness of their heart, saw him again wandering around, and they spent like 6 hours talking to this guy until the family came to take him. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Today.
Shout out to, what's his name?
Alex Witten.
We're sending Cauldron love.
I know that's like very traumatizing, but I'm glad that they kicked you out because
Sounds like he has a book deal.
yeah.
It'd be a hell of a book.
This was not the first time that Love As One was featured on Dr. Phil.
Not the first time?
Not the first time. Actually, Amy's sister Chelsea and Amy's mom actually brought Amy Carlson on Dr. Phil as they were concerned that she was leading a cult, that she might have a mental illness and substance abuse problems.
If they were serious about it, they wouldn't bring her to Dr. Phil.
I know, they're like,
It's
Dr.
like,
well, maybe they
they're
like
clout
exhausted.
chasers.
What else? They've tried contacting her. They've tried convincing her. They've
Take
tried
her to a
asking her to go to help.
shrink.
Well, I don't know. If
Not a TV shrink.
I don't think they could just take her.
How are they going to take her to Dr. Phil?
I think that they know that Amy wants the clout.
Oh, true.
And they were also concerned with the safety of others that were in the cult and potential members that might join in the future. They did not want other people to, succumb to Amy's craziness, delusions.
Yeah.
In it, basically, Amy is clearly just defending herself, trying to say, those videos are taken out of context. She defends her child abuse video, saying, oh, most kids don't know consequences, and we were trying to teach them consequences, just defending. Also, clearly being fed lines, looking in the corner constantly at someone and being like nodding and stuff. So, it was like a PR thing. Her PR person was probably like Jason Castillo and Miguel or whatever, Archangel Michael. Now we're going to get into Amy Carlson's death. So Love As One cult leader Amy Carlson died of natural causes after years of alcohol abuse, opioid abuse, anorexia, and chronic ingestion of colloidal silver, a substance that some believe can boost the body's immune system, according to an autopsy report prepared by the El Paso County Coroner's Office. And a note on the silver, they ingested it like every day, all the time, which apparently made her literally blue. Like her physical face was blue from this. Allegedly, whatever. But they would also sell this silver where ex-members said that they literally just melted cigarettes to make. And they would literally sell it to their followers online for like a lot of money. And they claimed that it could prevent COVID. And like
it's like one of those holy water things.
The FDA literally stopped them. They literally made them remove this.
It's funny. It's like a
Like,
QAnon.
it's not.
It's a QAnon COVID.
Also, I love how so many places can claim of these things. But then once COVID came around, people
Yeah.
started getting in trouble. Like, it was like, you can't say that.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like, I feel like people
There's
have
a
always
crackdown.
said, yeah, there's a crackdown on it. The report found alcohol, narcotics, marijuana, and high levels of silver in her body. Carlson, who was 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighed 75 pounds when she died, which is very, very, very skinny.
Yeah, the story of her death is a little bit sketchy. They were in an RV park in Northern California, and they were kicked out because there was overcrowding, and I think people were just kind of weirded out by them. And this is supposedly where she died. And there is no date on exactly when she died. There were some weird indications during live streams where they said her soul had ascended, I think 2 separate times, but they never really confirmed. And, they're weird. So they could have been just kind of beating around the bush. Who knows? So anyway, they were kicked out of this park in Northern California, and they drove to Muffet, Colorado. And they drove to one of their former semi-members' homes, knocked on his door, asked if he could house them for whatever reason because they didn't have housing. He said, sure. They all went in the house. He came back the next day or later that day and found out that there was a dead body, her body, Mother God's body, in the back bedroom covered in Christmas lights, and they wouldn't let him go to his kid who was in the house with them. And the kid was sleeping when the police came, but he ended up going to the police department. You can watch the body cam footage. And he's like, I need my kid. And it turns out there was another kid there that was taken into protective custody. And the police did an investigation. And you can even see her body in the body cam footage. They actually painted on her eyeballs, like on her eyelids. And she's blue. It's disgusting. I didn't expect to see her body. Oops. There were a bunch of warnings that I clicked through, but I have no self-control. So once they recovered the body, they actually arrested everybody in the house for both child abuse. I think 3 of them got charged for child abuse, and the rest of them got charged with tampering with a corpse. And tampering with a corpse law kind of varies state to state, but in Colorado, you're actually allowed to kind of mummify a corpse if they want to be mummified. It's so weird. Yeah. Like, they mummified her.
Yeah.
And it's like, when the police came in the body cam footage, they're all like, chill. They're all like, oh yeah, Mother God's back there. I don't remember what they said, but it's like, disgusting. She was in a sleeping bag covered in Christmas lights.
Yeah.
They did an investigation, the police, and it turns out that one of the members' cars, like the car they all drove over, showed evidence that they had transported a corpse, aka like a mummified corpse, so like the seats were like down or something. I don't know if they did.
That
Like,
was
they
for
determined that she wasn't
groceries.
murdered. I mean, she basically starved herself to death. It's
Yeah.
really sad.
Although she claimed she had cancer, the autopsy reported that there were no signs of cancer, despite Carlson's followers saying that she was suffering from it. Her followers, who called Carlson Mother God, also had said she was paralyzed. Those who follow the cult said that there was no sign that she was paralyzed, although the autopsy report does not address that condition specifically. But in videos, you could see her legs literally moving. The sheriff's deputies found Carlson's body in, as you said, a sleeping bag, a green one, and enshrined in Christmas lights. She was wearing makeup, including multicolored glittery eyeshadow. The body had a crown made of brown and gold beads and blue and green stones, and there were multiple necklaces around her neck. The autopsy report said she was also wearing a tie-dyed fleece shawl along with bandanas and a faux fur scarf.
And I think on April 24th is the first time somebody said that her body had ascended. So she had been dead for at least like 4 or 5 days.
Gross. Yeah.
But supposedly she was in advanced stages of decomposition, so maybe it took a while because they said they couldn't identify her fingerprints.
Yeah. And at the scene where her body was found, the deputies confiscated 8 bottles with medicine droppers. And after Carlson's body was discovered, 7 people were charged in connection with transporting her body to Colorado from California and for allowing 2 children to stay in the house with the body. As you said, the Saugatuck County District Attorney later dismissed the charges.
Fucked up, but like kind of like good that it all kind of came to an end. At least she didn't hurt anybody physically. Like no one died.
Yeah.
As a result from her, which is not the case with a lot of cults. Like,
not
look
that we
at.
know of. Some people claim that there have been weird coincidences with disappearances of people and this cult.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
there's not enough proof to talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it right now. I just also wanted to mention that as of late 2021, Fox 21 News confirmed that court officials officially dropped all charges linked to Carlson's death. I feel like cops in general or detectives, I don't know if they have a lot of experience, especially if it's a random county. Like, I don't think they have a lot of experience with cults. I feel like there should be like a special
cult task force, like an FBI
state.
Cult task force.
Yeah, that like each state has like a set of people that come in and like
deprogram people.
Yeah. What is the group up to today? After a few months, Jason Casillo, this father god guy, formed a separate group called Joy Reigns. And a lot of people think that Love Is One removed all their digital trace online, but that's not true. They just changed their name on Facebook and YouTube. They changed it to 5D Full Disclosure. And 5D Full Disclosure also has a daily show, and they've talked about things like astrology, the future of healing, energy, etc., which all seems like things that like I would be interested in, which is so weird because that's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. They start there, and then they start asking for money, and then they start claiming that Mother God has come.
And then you fall for it.
And then you fall for it. Oh, I know it sounds crazy, like, oh, I would never fall for that. These people are stupid, blah, blah, blah. But, like, they prey purposely on people that are recently going through something. Maybe it's
breakups,
like mental health issue,
death
maybe
in the
breakup,
family,
death in the family,
losing a job.
Yeah, and they're looking for something to like find purpose in, and then they find this group, and then it starts off as like a sweet little thing. Then you slowly get wrapped up in it,
and it turns very evil.
You're putting glitter eyeshadow on Mother God's corpse,
Ew,
and you're like, "How
I'm hungry.
did I get
Don't
here?"
say that. Okay.
And they also even had a celebrity kind of ish. Tommy Hilfiger's daughter, Susie Hilfiger, was a member.
Really?
Was seen in live streams, but then she like pieced out, left the group, and then Jason Casillo was calling her like a billionaire whore on live streams and was like,
she was whore of the week.
Give us all your money.
She was whore of the week.
Whore of the week. That is it for this week's episode on Love Has Won the Cult. You are in need of help, or some family member, or maybe you'll find a
we'll find the.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time here on Cauldron Convos. Bye.